Neal, first of all, just looking back to Tuesday night, and I suppose it wasn't our best performance, but we still managed to grind it out and get a point, and that's the main thing.
First half was poor. Thought they laid it on us and we didn't react. Second half we tweaked a few things, challenged the boys for a response. I thought we got it. We still had to defend. Booty still had to make a couple of good saves. We laid our bodies on the line, but we had more intent going forward, more intensity. So it was a good point at a tough place to go, and it's kind of no good if we don't carry that on into Saturday.
I think that's our first draw since November the 1st. I mean, it's been a long time, isn't it? But it's important, I suppose, to turn those losses into draws, isn't it?
Yeah, well, listen, we know what we're doing wrong. As a team, we know that we can't keep conceding goals the way we have been, and that's not on Booty and the back players. That's everybody. We scored 9 in our last 6. We started to get our mojo back at the other end of the pitch, but we know we need to be harder to break down if we're going to go on a run. And got a great game tomorrow against a really good team, and I know they've had a little blip, but they've played really well in the game. They were excellent against last week. And they're a strong team.
Can sometimes, when you grind out a point in the way that we did on Tuesday, can that sometimes kick on and revitalise the side?
Hopefully. We set, sort of, like I said before, 7 game blocks and the targets, and if we can get a win tomorrow, we still come up a little bit short on our first block, but it puts us in a position where we can make it up in maybe block 2 or block 3. So we've got to give ourselves a chance, and that's what we're trying to do. And no one wants to lose games. The boys are giving everything. They're doing their best. We just need to try and keep a clean sheet, cut out the odd mistake at the back, and we won't be able to go from there, because I feel like we're getting our mojo back at the other end of it.
Obviously, you touch on Chesterfield a little bit. Obviously, they've been on a poor run of form recently, but you don't become a bad side overnight, do you?
No, they've played well. I think the Woking game, they were disappointed with, and Woking do that to a lot of teams. They've just gone up at Wrexham and drawn, and Woking a very strong side. So I think that they played well. I watched the Aldershot game. I've watched the game at Notts last week. They were excellent. I think they're a good team. I think they've got a lot of good players. Excellent manager. It's going to be tough, really tough, but we've got to go out there and we've got to make sure we play at the same intensity they do, and we don't fear playing at home, because last season it was a fortress. This season we've had a sticky spell, and we get back to enjoying playing at home, and that's got to start tomorrow, but we can't wait for it to happen. We have to try and make it happen.
I suppose something that really highlights their strength in depth is the fact that obviously we've managed to get Tom Whelan in from them, and obviously he was voted Fans Player of the Month for January. He's been brilliant. I know he won't be available tomorrow, but he's been brilliant for us, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Player I've always liked when he was at Eastleigh, when he's been at Chesterfield. Whenever I've played against him, I've always liked him. And sometimes you get a player in that you like, and then you start working with him on a daily basis, and you start to see the faults in the player, and you think, he's not as good as I thought. It's actually been the opposite with Tom. I liked him, and then I've got him in, and I like him even more. I've realised how good a player he is. He's actually gone up in my estimations. The lads love him, and he's been a great signing for us, and hopefully he can continue to be till the end of the season.
He'll be one that obviously we miss tomorrow, and obviously it's been a little while since we've caught up on injuries. Obviously Ben Coker, we saw him limp off against Dagenham. What's your update on him?
No, Ben's still a bit sore. He tried to join in training on Tuesday, and his knee was a bit sore, so he's touch and go. I don't think he'll make tomorrow. Mitch Roberts got a dead leg from the York game, a really bad one, really come out bruised and swollen, and it's just not been able to get the sort of blood out of it and get it so that it's mobile and moving. Them two, Joey Jones's knee's not quite right. He's been out on the grass today, but he's not quite where he needs to be. And obviously, Goods was on the bench on Tuesday, but he'd only had 1 day training before that, so he's trying to get himself back up to speed, although he's back out training.
And David Davis, any update on him?
Yeah, he's back seized up before last week. Friday last week he tried to train, he had to go in. We've tried to sort of level his back out. He's seen a chiropractor, we've had it scanned and looked at, but it's just one of them things that you have to kind of offload him a bit and try and get him aligned and try and get everything right so that he can get back out and it doesn't flare up again. And backs, as you know, can be really, really awkward, so obviously it's a big miss to not have him around.
Just a final one, looking towards the game. Obviously the playoff semi-final was a great afternoon last season, and I suppose the message from yourself would be perhaps, for the fans to stick with us and hope that days like that might be not too far around the corner.
Yeah, listen, one thing we're definitely 100% not going to do is give up. We're 4 points off the playoffs, all right, we've played a few more games now, and I don't look at everyone around the playoffs are going to win, and they're strong teams, and I think most of the teams are only fighting for 2 positions. I think it's 6th and 7th now are potentially there, but there's strong teams in there. You know, you've got Bromley in good form, Bournemouth are a good side, you've got Southend in there, and many others, Dagenham, Eastleigh, whoever it is in and around there. We need to try and get to sort of 73 points plus to be able to do it, and that's going to be an almighty good run of form to get there. We are capable of it, we know we are, but it's got to start at some point without having any excuses. We don't want it to be too late, but we won't give up until it's mathematically impossible.
Thank you.